Oh, Chubbicorn.
Hello, I'm Mr. Santamont, and I'm going to show you how to sculpt a mug. So first you get a clay, and you're going to get some spacers, or like paint mixing sticks. You're going to get a roller, water, some tools, and then you want some slip. And first I'm going to wedge the clay. It's also another word for pounding the air bubbles out of the clay. Now this particular ball of clay comes from a bunch of other scrap pieces, so it takes a lot of wedging, and you'll see later that I still don't get enough of the air bubbles out. So next step is you're going to roll it between the two spacers. I already noticed an air bubble there. So just keep rolling in. Every time you see an air bubble, you want to use a pin tool or like a paper clip and pop the bubble. And so that way the air escapes, and then you can keep rolling. So if you don't remove the air, the problem is you'll have explosions or cracks when the clay gets fired. So there's a lot of air bubbles that I need to get rid of, you can see. And then once you have your clay completely flat, I'm going to now cut out the walls, or the actual mug, side of the mug. So using the spacer, I'm going to draw a straight line or cut a straight line. And then with the other side, I want to make sure I measure with my fingers and the end of the pin tool to make sure it's consistent, because that's the height of the mug. So if our mug is short on one side and then goes up, it's going to be hard to attach. So once it's perfectly parallel, we'll make a line there. And then that space at the top is for the base. So I want to make sure I save some of that to make a circle, and you'll see soon here. So I'll finish off this rectangle, and then I'm going to carefully peel the piece out from the rest of the clay. And then you'll see I'm going to form a circle as neat as possible, and that's going to be the shape of our mug. So the longer you have the rectangle, the wider the mug, and the wider the rectangle, the taller the mug. Now I'm going to trace out the base of the mug using the pin tool. First, gotta make sure everything is perfect, lined up. And then I'll trace out that bottom. Alright, once that's done, I'll carefully remove the wall of the mug, and there's the base. Check the bottom for any imperfections. Looks good. I'll put it aside. And then I'm going to cut out the handle. So using that little spacer bar, I'm going to just slice out a narrow strip of clay, and then I'll put that aside for now. And then I'm going to use this extra piece for Chubbicorn. So this is going to be a reveal mug, where as you drink, whether it's coffee or tea or hot cocoa, there's going to be a little Chubbicorn that reveals himself at the bottom of the mug. So the body is pretty much rolled out. That's going to be the size of him. And then I'll take some more clay. I'm going to first put this away, just so I can use that for another mug later. I want to save as much clay as possible. Okay, now I'm going to cut out some extra pieces of this clay for the arms and the horn. Basically, I'm just rolling out little snakes. If you remember making little clay snakes from like kindergarten, it's like that idea. And then this horn is going to be a little cone shape. You can see how I'm just rounding it out, testing it. Looks good. And then I'm going to score and slip it. So scoring and slipping, you'll see a lot more later in this video, but it's really important to score and slip because it attaches the clay. You can't just stick pieces of clay together and hope they're going to survive the kiln, the clay firing process. So I'm going to go ahead and score also where the horn is going to attach. So any pieces you want to attach, you have to score and slip, and that means scratch the surface turn it into clay Velcro, and then use some water to make sure it sticks. So it looks like it's pretty snug on there. And then I'm going to attach the arms. So I'm going to go ahead and score it, different directions to create like like hatch marks, like tic-tac-toe lines in the surface. I'm going to test out where it goes on Treble-corn's body, and I'm going to just press that in and just kind of keep an eye out where that's attached, maybe create some little reference marks right there, and then I'll take the arm off and then score and slip. So what I actually did was I dipped the pin tool in water, so it's a lot faster for scoring and slipping, because then the water drips into the crevices of my scratches and it creates a slip, like a mud kind of texture. Alright, so then I press that on there, it looks good. Press the other one on after scoring and slipping. Make sure that it has a little bit of a definition, so it's coming away from the body and not just like a lump. Using that pin tool to just kind of shape it a bit more. And then for the face, I'm using, it's kind of like a wooden pointed dowel, like a pencil, sharpened pencil that creates the eyes. I have to make them deep enough so the slip or the clay glaze doesn't settle and cover them. And then the mouth is just kind of taking the pin tool and pressing and dragging the pin tool to create that little smiling mouth. Looks good, so I'll put Treble-corn aside. Now for the mug. This is where you have to do a lot of scoring and slipping for this to work. So first I'm going to shape the handle, because that needs to start drying. So it was actually a start. I was doing this outside, so the air was drying it as we were working on the other thing. So there's the shape of the handle, just kind of test it out. And I'm going to let that sit once I have it shaped nicely. Test it on the mug, make sure that it's not too tall. Also, you want to make sure that the handle doesn't go out too far from the mug. You want to kind of keep it enough space for the fingers to slide into the handle, but not to where the handle's sticking way too far out. Oh, and there's my dog. There's Lilo. Okay, so I'm going to start with scoring the base. So putting some slip on the edges is the first step. Basically, it's a clay mud. It's very like loose, wet clay that acts like a clay glue. And then I'm going to actually score through the slip. Some people like to score first and then put the slip on, but I like to score through the slip, because what that does is it presses the slip into the body of the clay, so it actually keeps it wetter longer, so the slip doesn't kind of block out the hatch marks of the scoring. So I'm scoring the base of the mug. I'm sorry, not scoring, I'm putting slip on the base of the mug. And now here comes the scoring process. This is very tedious, so while I'm doing this, I'm going to read you an interesting fact about ceramics. Did you know the oldest human-made ceramics date back to about 28,000 BCE? And the thing that was sculpted was a statuette of a woman. Another interesting fact is each of NASA's space shuttles is clad in about 34,000 ceramic tiles to protect the shuttles for re-entry. Now, I know the shuttles have been retired, but I'm sure they use similar processes on the current spaceships. Okay, so I've scored the sides, I've slipped the sides. You see how while I was talking there, I want to press together the body of the mug, making sure that it's pressed. Now I can go ahead and very carefully place it on the scored and slipped base. I'm just looking at all the sides, making sure it lines up. The challenge of the mug is I cannot score and slip inside of the bottom, so I have to make sure that I press the walls down into the base properly. I'm actually scoring the bottom of the mug, so I'll show you kind of a side view there. So multiple directions. So there's a diagonal, then I'm going back the other way. A lot of scoring along the base, and this will compensate for the fact that I cannot score the inside, like I said. So I'm just bringing the clay together, like interlocking the clay, so it acts as one piece. So you see that multiple directions. I can get the tool there inside the wall, the upper wall, but it's just the base I won't be able to reach. So I'm going to score the other direction. Now, one thing I didn't do with this, what I do with my current mugs, a technique, is I actually put the chubbicorn in before I attach the walls to the base. It's just a lot easier. The advantage of this one, this technique right here, is I have more access to the bottom walls if I needed to make any corrections, because chubbicorn, or any animal that you decide to put in the bottom, can kind of get in the way. So this method allows me to, attach the base without worrying about messing up the little creature that's in the bottom. So okay, scoring, slipping the base of chubbicorn, and you can see in the bottom of the mug there I have that scored and slipped little circle. And now the challenging part is putting my fingers down into the mug and trying to attach chubbicorn and just trusting the process that the score and slip alone is going to hold him. So I would recommend putting the animal, if you have anything coming out of the base, I would recommend putting that in first before you put the walls up. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm using kind of a blunt end of a wooden tool to press and scrape and smooth the slip into the inside bottom of the walls. That's all I can do for the inside base of a mug. I cannot score and do anything too much more than that. All right, now I am putting slip and smoothing out the sides, scraping off any additional clay. So you can see how you want to just smooth it out. This is both for aesthetic reasons, but also it binds the clay to itself, so it really secures it. More scoring, because I noticed I think I missed a spot, and then just slipping on top of that. So a lot of scoring and slipping involved when you're attaching parts. By the way, this is called a slab method. Most ceramics that are mugs or cups or plates or bowls are made using a wheel. It's a lot faster using a wheel, but I don't have a wheel. So there you go. All right, just smoothing out the edge of the mug, kind of tapering it if possible. You don't want to have it too thick on the top because then the liquid would dribble around the side, of your mouth. Just double checking the quality from above. Now it's time to attach the handle. Now typically the handle would probably be attached the next day after you're sculpting the mug. You want to have both the mug and the handle air dry very gradually. I noticed that when I make my mugs in 45 minutes, actually that's the actual time it took to create this one, the handles sometimes crack because there's so much drying that happens so rapidly that they crack right in the middle, and so it makes the mug almost unusable. All right, so I'm just pressing in, I'm testing where that handle is going to make contact with the side, and then I'm scoring where I saw that attach. And by the way, the clay I'm scoring into is already wet from the attachment. I make sure to put the handle on the place where I put the seam together. So that's where I attach the wall to itself. All right, pressing in that handle. Now I'm going to use a tool to back up the clay. And this is important because I'm pressing the bottom of the handle into the mug. If I didn't have that support of that stick, then the handle would burst through the wall on the bottom. So you want to make sure you have some backing, whether it's a finger or a tool, so the clay doesn't cave in on itself. All right, just smoothing out everything, making sure it's nice and smooth. You want to make sure there's no sharp edges, because once that clay gets fired, and if you've got sharp edges, you can cut somebody's finger or lip. So you want to make sure that it is as clean as possible. And I take some slip and water just to smooth out the edges there. All right, it looks like it's finished. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe.